Hiya, welcome to my Compound Life. This is a channel where we build assets, we build habits, and of course we build freedom. That should really be financial freedom for you, me, and everyone else that watches my channel. To drive very slowly because very slippery this morning. In case you do not know, I'm in the West Midlands and we are covered in snow. Not sure whether you can see my surrounding. See, everywhere are covered in snow. I'm on my way to do some exercise and I have to drive very slowly. Radio off. Okay, let's start today. Now what do I want to talk about? I want to talk a little bit about timing rhythms. Specifically, as we're kind of entered 2026 with a bang. I need to say with a bang because Bitcoin rebounding from sub $90,000 onto about $93,000 now. I think that was a remarkable few days, largely all due to the Venezuela war. I think with so much positiveness coming out from it. You know what? I don't know whether it's all positive or not until later when Wall Street open, right? So we shall see. We shall see whether it's all positive or negative, or it will essentially be a little bit of weakness at the beginning of market open, and once investors, traders starts to get a sense of, you know, we're not actually going into a war, it's actually a lot more stabilized condition, then we may flip bullish, right? But we will see. But on this video, what I want to talk about is a little bit about timing, right? Because taking into consideration that I still don't think we'll get any rate cut in January, although there are about a few rate cuts in the pipeline. US rate cut, by the way, is US Fed rate cut. With all of the bullish report that came out, the data, I don't personally think we will get a rate cut yet in January. So that's rate cut gone. But maybe towards end of year, right? So I think the rate cut will only come when the new Fed chair gets appointed, and that will not. He will not be in until much later, by May, right? And I do foresee that by the time he gets appointed, we'll take multiple report in order for him to make the key decision of whether there will be further rate cut. And from that sense, the timing of rate cut will probably be much more towards Q3 or Q4 this year, as opposed to Q1 at least. So that's my take, that's my reading on the market. I'm not even sure whether we'll get a stimulus check. I hope we will, but we will see. Because, you know, yeah, so if that's the case, even if it does come, it would be much more towards Q2. And also, I think one thing to consider, you know, the 4-year cycle playing out, it does seem, yes, there will be, some are saying that, you know, 4-year cycle is broken. I do still want to fully believe that 4-year cycle broken, but until we have been able to reclaim some of the key supporting line on Bitcoin price, I'm not immediately flipping bullish just yet. Okay, so a lot of people are saying that 4-year cycle broken. You know, we shouldn't be following the 4-year cycle. This is a tough one. It does seem everything are setting up for Bitcoin. Let me be very, very slow here. Oh, by the way, my Tesla is not 4-wheel drive. It's a rear-wheel drive. That's the pain of having a rear-wheel drive Tesla. My previous one, the older version of the Model Y, it was 4-wheel drive. I must say it was one of the best car I've ever owned or driven. So for this one, this rear-wheel drive, it's not as good when it comes to snowy road. So coming back to our timing, stimulus check I think won't be arriving until much later, towards Q2, right? Because I do think that, you know, if Trump wants to do this, you have to do it towards the middle of the year. It's kind of like a reminder to everyone that, hey, I'm Trump, you know, I'm doing such a good job. I'm dishing out stimulus check for all of you guys, and now remember to vote me, right? So that part of the process, I think, will have to come nearer to the voting time, which I think probably sensible, you know, much towards mid-year. And yeah, I think rate cut, quantitative easing, you know, that there's so much printing going on, but it doesn't seem at all it's back at the scale of COVID yet, right? There are chat about this isn't exactly quantitative easing, it's something else. So until we've actually been able to see mass amount of money that gets printed, I wouldn't flip bullish too, right? There's also the saying about silver, you know, the collapse of silver, so resulting that the Fed has had to print more money. I think that's all just conspiracy, that's all just a lie, clickbaiting content, so be careful with that. Yeah, so I think overall there are some bullish news, bullish setup, but the fact that we're so late in the 4-year cycle now, supposedly this would be the timing when everything's going much more lower, right? Bitcoin and crypto. So that's why I have concern that, you know what, there are a lot of hype out there that's saying we are going higher. In fact, it could just be a dead cat bounce, so do take note of that and make sure you take the necessary precautions. You know, don't leverage, don't do massive bulk buy, you know, just continue the DCA or pound cost average. That would be like the most sensible thing to do. Yeah, I think that's how I would roll with this information. I don't know about you guys, let me know your thoughts. Drop a comment, drop a like, or hit subscribe, for God's sake. For crying out loud, you know, I'm really low in my subscribers count, so whoever watches my video, right, none of you subscribe. You know, I think more than 80% of my viewers don't subscribe. They just come in and watch and bugger off after, right? Please don't be like that. Please don't be that person. You know, just hit subscribe. Help me out. Hit the like. I'm such a small content creator. I'm not even on 100 subscribers yet, right? I'm just on, 87, 86. I'm on 86 subscribers, guys. Just help me out, hit subscribe. Let me know who you are on the comment section. I know some of you guys are really good at commenting, so thank you. Thanks to the one that comments on my video. And I can actually see a few consistent ones that follow my content, so thank you guys, really appreciate that. Yeah, that helps me to create more content for YouTube. We're just trying to get my subscribers count going. To me, this is a bit like stacking and building Bitcoin, because what I'm trying to do is essentially stack more Bitcoin. Not now, not yet, because this is not the right time to stack for me. I've got too much exposure, I guess. However, what I'm trying to do is to make sure I stack enough Bitcoin, and at the same time I'm also building up my community for Bitcoin and any other assets too. So yeah, I don't just talk about Bitcoin, although I do make Bitcoin video. You know what, ever since I've kind of gotten to know about Bitcoin, I just lost passion on a lot of other things. Like buying properties for me now has become kind of like a chores, because the fact that you have to like look after properties, you have to look after the tenants, etc., right? So buy Bitcoin still seems to be like the best of investment, best of options anyone can make, right? But anyway, yeah, that's it. I just want to chat about my timing. Oh, I believe I shared with one of the viewer about this timing too. So my timing, if we do make it back to about 110,000, it might be sometime in Q2, right? If we're lucky. Even if we make it to 110,000 or even more, we're gonna have to wait until closer to the mid-year election in the US, not the UK, in the US. So maybe that could help us to get back to about 120. That would be a good dead cat bounce, by the way. But somehow I have reservation, every cycle for the past 2 cycles that I've been in, so this is my 3rd cycle, right? Every cycle there will be some strong narratives that say this is like the setup for Bitcoin. This is it, guys. This will be the accumulation of your lifetime. This would be the the time when we'll be Valhalla, right? Somehow I think all of this faded as soon as institutions started to adopt Bitcoin. They rebalance, annoyingly enough. They're not like us. They're not like retail that would just hodl, wait until Bitcoin get to the blow off top, all-time high, then boom, sell all in and all out, right? So institutions, buyers, they don't do that kind of bullshit anymore. They just rebalance. They want stability. I guess I want stability too, no doubt, right? But at the same time, I just want to see some action in between. But very likely for Bitcoin as an asset, very likely we won't see that kind of action anymore. I'm happy with the dead cat bounce. I'm happy with, with Q2 getting us back to 100, even 105 or even 110,000 by Q2. And then would be nice sometime in October, November, where October, November, December tends to be the best time for Bitcoin, right? Except for last year. Last year was simply terrible, right? So it would be nice if we can get back some good price action for October, November, or even December, right? However, I do feel maybe mid-year election will be sometime in November. So it's not going to instantaneously pump Bitcoin. However, there'll be so much that people made good gains on their equities, and then they'll start rotating them into Bitcoin from October, November, December onwards, right? So that's when we shall see some good price action for Bitcoin, and then that's it. Afterwards, Bitcoin will continue to go much more lower, and then that's it. That would be entering the bear market. Or I could be wrong. We could be entering bear market after Q2, right? So we shall see. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know. I'm keen to know what's on your thoughts. What's your timing too. And I'll see you on the next video. Time for some gym. I've had too much to eat, so time to do some exercise. All right, see you later. Bye.